Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. How's everybody doing? Ooh.
Mox is in the house already. What up, Mox?
Quick to get over here. Awesome. Everyone. Welcome, welcome, and apparently I need to mute myself. There we go. I didn't want to listen to myself talk anyways.
Who does?
Hey, you got to be really self-centered for that one.
What are you saying? Like half my views are me watching them.
Touche, sir. Touche.
I'm like,
finally.
Little special guest in the house tonight. Don't get him on very often. Get it all in all my live shows. So first and foremost, I do want to welcome Permit the Fog to the show.
Special guest. Thanks very much for having me on and being so patient over the last 6 to 8 invites. Great to be here with you guys for sure.
And we got Leafa and Giz, and as always, Fresh.
What up? Giancarlo up in the house. What up, Giancarlo?
It looks like we got Andrews out there, ODB, Chris Wilson, McAfee MC, Blitzkrieg. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Enrique. Enrique? Permit the Fog from the comments.
Oh, there is a Permit the Fog out in the comments there. Ooh, there's an Addy Tooney out there. What's up, Addy Tooney?
Welcome, brother Addy.
Thank you for those kind words on those other shows. Appreciate it. Pardon me, my tongue and my brain decided to stop working together there.
That's what happens when you vape banana bondage. Your brain kind of quits and goes into a happy place.
That it does. Thank you, Cobra. I had to get it changed. So, anybody who wants to spread the word, the official YouTube is now youtube.com/golftv.
How about the strawberry submission? Just got that today.
I do love the strawberry submission.
It's so good.
So good. Did you see what I meant though? Is that nice mix between almost country time, but it still maintains that homemade lemonade type flavor?
Oh yeah. And the fresh strawberry right on the tail end on your tongue.
Yep. So good.
Mox, this is why. This tea specifically, this one made here by Sela, is how I actually wrapped my first coil that I ever built. Right on this tea. So I figured that seemed like a good name to go with for the show, or for my channel at least. I thought about changing the name of the show to Golf Tea Vapes, but I was like, I'm already 12 into it. People know it as the Vapor Vlog, so I'll just leave it as is.
That was my all-time favorite TJ moment.
TJ, what'd you wrap those coils on? Oh, this?
Yeah. I was sitting here that night on that show, and I was Googling golf tees to find out what the diameter was.
I mean, I went in the golf bag to find the skinniest one I possibly could because I was like, I don't want it too big bored out.
What do you figure it is? 5 mil?
In comparison, let's see. I can tell you what I've got in there now. I can do a quick matchup and take a look.
I don't think it's going to fit through the middle of that coil.
Oh, it's not. It's probably close to 5. Yeah.
That's what I
would I thought you said something. I thought Permit had said something like it was 4.3 or something like that.
Is it along that lines yet?
Yeah. It's
fuck yeah, just go for it, man.
Hey, it's glowed from the middle out, and it vaped, so I was happy.
That was awesome.
That's the secret right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason why there is the name of the PR party tonight. I did get my wonderful vape mail from Giancarlo last week after the Wednesday show. I think I got it on Friday, actually. So I decided I was going to hold off on trying the Phantom Ravioli and tell everyone on here to Now, I did break the seal so I could take a sniff of it. And I just giggled and giggled and giggled when I smelled it.
Oh, I did too. The first time I was just laughing when I smelled that.
That's all you can do is laugh at it.
That's awesome.
I smelt it, and I smelled fresh pizza crust. I'm like, what the fuck? How? I didn't.
Ravioli.
I thought maybe my nose was fucking with me or something, so I had to take another whiff. I was like, you know what? This has got to wait until a live show so everybody can sit down and actually watch this, because otherwise it's not going to be as worth it. So I'm going to dry this out here, and then I'll get to that here eventually. I'll let everybody know once I start to drip that on.
TJ, would you mind if I told everybody hello?
Most definitely. Be my guest.
Hello.
Oh, wait a minute. You are my guest. Talk whenever you
There's
want.
been a little MIA for a little bit there, Gizzard Stew.
Yeah. Good to
Yeah,
see you.
there was fishing and wife consoling, stuff like that.
It happens.
On the note of those Ohmageddon Eliquids, his link's down in the description. If you haven't gotten any, go pick some up. They're phenomenal. Between the two that I have put myself through, the Bali Song and the Leviathan, both worth it. Both amazing.
If that tells you what I think of the Bala song.
Oh, look at you.
That's what I think of the Bala song.
You've been huffing on that stuff. That was full.
Because I still am vaping on the Addie's yogurt that I had to mix up for Addie's yogurt video.
Well, at least you know how to make that recipe fresh.
You know, it's a good thing that I looked it up so that I would know how to vape or mix up Addie's yogurt. Not like I have it by heart or anything.
when you called me the other day on Google, I thought that you were gonna ask me like how you had to do that. Actually. Didn't realize that we were gonna do a couple-hour interview.
We did talk for quite a while, didn't we?
I was trying to, like I said to you before you left, this is going to be one of the easiest ones to edit, and it wasn't. It was so tough. How do I fit a 2-hour conversation with Fresh into like 20, 25 minutes? It just doesn't work. Yeah, that was awesome. And that's coming out tomorrow, by the way. It'll be up tomorrow.
Fantastic.
I just finished tweaking some last little things. I got to process it tonight and then do some uploading. So by morning it'll be up.
Cannot wait to hear it.
Yeah, it turned out really nice.
For those of you who don't know, Permit's link is in the description below for both his YouTube and his SoundCloud. You can go over there, check him out. There's, 3 episodes up so far?
Yes, number 4 tomorrow.
Number 4 tomorrow. You heard it here first. We got a Fresh sighting on his show tomorrow. Be well worth it.
My weekly, bi-weekly podcast.
Isn't there a third-party app that you can use to download those podcasts?
Just download the SoundCloud app.
SoundCloud app, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I post them on SoundCloud and then I throw them up on YouTube as well.
Then you can walk around with Permit in your ear.
I have submitted my RSS to iTunes as well, but it takes a little bit of time.
Okay. Vaping Fagan out in the crowd. Hey!
Whoa. Mr. Fagan. Right on.
Would you like to make a guest appearance here?
Buenos Aires.
Now he feels at home. Mark Fagan in the house. What up, homie?
Oh.
I don't know. We might talk after. It might be a rehash of the show he was just on.
That's all right.
I'm sure once me and Permit get going about what's going on in the world.
Oh man, and you said you can't do an 8-hour show, eh? Yeah, that's crazy, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, there's an invite if you want it. Up to you whether you decide to show or not. I'm alright either way. Although it would be nice to have you on.
You do a short guest appearance.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure that we want him on here for like the duration.
Seems like kind of a dick move there, Kiss.
There you go. He's in the G spot.
Well, you're welcome if you'd like to come.
Well, to be honest, I'm impressed that you're doing two things at once.
Yeah, really. That's out of character.
Jump on, show his dick for a second, and leave. Like, Mark Fagan, everybody.
Hello. And Addie apparently wants to get Jax on the show.
We
want to hear Jack's story.
Jax. Somebody's been texting me. No, it's telling me the heavy show is live.
That was a little late.
Alright. All of this dinging and buzzing in my ears, I've had enough of that.
Check the side chat there, Golf T.
Did already.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I did read the message.
Okay, good enough. I'll be right back. It's beer 30.
Ruh-roh.
Well, bring me one.
It's hydrogen monoxide.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Hydrogen monoxide time.
The range.
Quinn, what's going on?
What's shaking, everybody?
Who's not dressed?
Mox.
Oh, that's fine, Mox. We're fine with that. I'm just letting you know that we're fine with you showing up naked on the show for a minute. I mean, Mark Fagan was in here showing his dick off to everybody, so I mean.
Oh, we're already started down the right path. This is great.
We're already off topic?
There really wasn't a topic. Only one thing on my mind today. That's this.
Oh.
Wow.
Phantom ravioli. The echo's kind of gone now, so I'm assuming it was Gizzard.
It must have been. It usually is him for some odd reason. I don't know if he's deaf, so he has to turn his speakers up all the way and gets that nice reverb into the mic.
So yeah, Quinn, there's a question. I've been sitting in my clinic and everybody's walking around with their sleeves rolled up, and I'm like, what the fudge? When did that start?
That started, I want to say like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3.
Huh.
And Sergeant Major Daly was trying to distract us from some more important topics that are going on, and decided that he would make everybody happy by saying, hey, as long as your command authorizes it, we can roll sleeves now.
So what else is going on in the Army world, or is it something we can talk about?
It's more or less the big dicking that people are getting away with, because there was the uproar about Hillary and politics and blah with her email.
Oh, okay.
People were like, hey, what the fuck? Why aren't we changing our rules? And they're like, well, here's some sleeve rolling.
Show them.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Chris Wilson. I kept my sleeves down all the time unless they made me.
And that's where I'm at right now, is they've made us.
I think there was only a couple times I actually remember them having us roll sleeves up, and that was when I was in basic training.
Yeah. When I worked
trying to distract from was the new PT test that was supposed to launch last month.
Oh, new PT test. Is it the biggest shit storm that as I imagine it would be?
They did not launch it yet.
Okay.
They were supposed to, but it was supposed to be the start of the MOS-specific gender-neutral PT test, which is hilarious.
So, what would be your PT test now?
So, as opposed to what we are still doing for a PT test, which is the 222 that everybody is so familiar with.
Yeah.
My shift in my PT test would be a lower standard on push-ups and sit-ups, a additional couple events that are like a long jump, a broad jump, and something else. And then instead of a 2-mile run, it would be a minute of push-ups, a minute of sit-ups, and a 1.5-mile run, very akin to that of the Air Force.
So an Air Force PT test, yes, okay.
Pretty much.
Huh.
So what about these people that have like no vertical leap at all, and there's no helping them?
Sucks to be you.
Oh man.
Unless you can get a permanent profile for it after your first PT test failure.
Man, people just taking dicks in the butt everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania's getting dicks in the butt. People in the Army getting dicks in the butt.
Oh, looks like First AD said the same thing down there at Bliss.
that does not surprise me at all. They're like, nope. Nope. Yeah, 2, 2, and 2.
All right.
2, 2, and 2. It's simple. It's straightforward. You know what you have to do. Now, granted, it doesn't particularly apply to your job, except for maybe the run. But I mean,
don't get me wrong. I'm all about a gender-neutral run because that means I can fucking walk my next PT test.
There you go. You do what I did on. You could do what I did on my last PT test. I stopped at the finish line and waited until I had 1 second left because I wanted a 181. Because fuck all of you.
That in training. He intentionally one step before the finish so he could get that 60, 60, 60 right on the money.
60, 60, 61.
That's too motivated.
No, because I exceeded the standard. That was the point of it. And you remember Sarnacker, right? Right, TJ?
Oh yeah.
He was so fucking pissed at me. Because I was on a good pace. I was on like a 13:30 pace for the 2 miles, and then I just stopped. Standing on the far side of the track like this, just looking at all of them.
Oh, it's fucking outstanding.
Like you guys wanted me to come out and do this? Okay.
All right.
Oh. Yeah, this rolling sleeves is bullshit because ACUs were not built for this.
No, the BDUs weren't built for it, but I mean, because it's all of a sudden your whole arm gets like all Ultimate Warriored up, and
on the upside, I have a way faster tourniquet.
It's true. You just kind of lift your arm upwards.
Well, I just lift it up and like pop the button over to the next slot, and boom, no circulation. You're good to go.
What's up, guys?
What's up,
Roxy?
I figured I'd tell something like this, and then I wouldn't steer your viewers away with my horrible face on I had today. Or no face, as the case may be.
I just noticed your eyes are green in that picture.
Yeah, it's a great wee little Snapchat filter. I wish they were like that all the time.
Those bangs are banging.
You like my bangs, don't you, Gizzy?
All right. It's
How's
ready.
everybody doing today?
TJ's going to vape Phantom Ravioli. So my advice on Phantom Ravioli, TJ. My advice on the Phantom Ravioli is just vaping it because you're going to get a strong flavor right away. And that's not what the e-liquid tastes like. So just keep vaping through it.
Okay.
What, we got Optimus Leafa.
Again. God damn. You and that terrible fucking robot voice. I don't know if I'm nervous about this or not.
I'm going to grab some Bolasong. Oh, no, wait a minute. What should I have? Leviathan. I want Leviathan.
Oh, good night.
I want to know where's Wendy.
There we go.
Here we go.
It's good to get. It's okay.
Good luck, TJ.
You still sound like a robot there. That's alright. Just keep it to a dull roar over there.
I'm gonna have some Leviathan.
I'm probably gonna have to re-wick after this.
No doubt, actually, after seeing some of the reviews on this one. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts.
Huh?
I'll be intrigued to hear your thoughts.
Here we go.
I think he's gonna like it a lot more than he thinks he's going to.
It just seems a little different from what I'm seeing from every other thing that comes out vape-wise.
That's the best part. That's the best part is how different it is.
Ooh.
There it is.
You're kidding me. You're fucking kidding me.
See what I was saying? That first rip, you get a really strong flavor that isn't what the e-liquid tastes like at all. And then all of a sudden it's Phantom ravioli time.
Oh, holy shit.
It's actually pretty good, huh?
I'm just glad I ate dinner earlier, otherwise I'd be starving right now. That is surprisingly delicious.
Isn't it?
Like, when I smelt it, it doesn't smell like it tastes. There's a lot of extra layers there.
That's the same thing happened to me with women.
Oh, well timed, sir.
Little pepperoni, little cheese.
Yeah, I started tasting cheese at one point.
I know. I think it's in your head, but it's weird.
No, it tastes like there should be cheese in there. Like, it tastes like there's cheese in there, but I don't even know where to put it all.
There's no cheese.
Yeah.
Well,
Hi, Mrs. TJ. She scampered through the back.
She just scampered and then looked at me.
Man, this looks amazing, actually.
What's that?
Well, I'm totally ashamed of myself. I have never taken the time to check out Ohmageddon, and I'm just checking through these profiles. This is Bala-Song looks amazing.
Bala-Song is incredible.
Oh my god.
What's the other one you said you had, Leviathan?
I'm gonna vape some Leviathan. Why don't you read the flavor profile out for everybody while I'm waking up here?
Yeah, sure. You get me to. I can't pronounce it. A limoncello sugar cookie, just like Nani used to make.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right there.
Okay, I gotta get a hold of Giancarlo and try some of this stuff out.
I love the smell. I love the smell of this one too.
It got that nice lemon taste to it. It's fucking outstanding.
And it's definitely not so. It's not a disrespect thing. It's just I have just had so limited time lately to do any web stuff. But I've got to check out. I'll get in touch with you, Giancarlo. I definitely got to get us some of these.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Check out Duck Pond. Check out Ducky's Lane.
That's going on my wall of fame there. Alright. Definitely not something I could vape all day, but most definitely something I could just fucking take a good fucking couple of hours off of.
yeah.
There's like a really spicy note in there. Not like a hot spicy, but I'm trying to figure out what the fuck it is.
It's a pepperoni.
Answer me a question. I know what a ravioli is in Italian food, but somebody said to me it just tastes like pizza. What is the difference between a ravioli and a pizza in the States? In that taste, in a vape taste?
Have you ever had pizza rolls?
I've had versions of here in New Zealand, but that doesn't mean they're the same as what you guys get in the States.
Like Tostino's pizza rolls, like the little party snacks. it tastes like a wonton.
Yeah.
With some pizza sauce and cheese in it. That's what Phantom Ravioli is like.
That's where that fucking taste is. Exactly.
That's perfect. There's a perfect way to explain it, Chris. I know what you're vaping on now.
Yeah.
That's exactly where that fucking taste is.
Ooh, Dragonfly looks good too.
Yeah,
Carlo has confirmed that it's actually pizza flavor.
The name came from a song?
The ravioli part came from a song. Which song, I don't know.
I do love Leviathan, too. Leviathan's really good.
They all look incredible, actually.
The Leviathan's what I've gotten the able tonight.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
You know, the problem right now is our dollar. I mean,
dinner and dessert. Great.
Our dollar.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with another guy today from up north of me, and we're talking about like a door and stuff, and you know, $45 American is like 60 here, plus our shipping, and it's not the American. You and I just, you know, we discussed that because it's not the American USPS, it's Canada Post and their prices. It's like, so you're paying $80 for like $45 worth of e-liquid, 45 US worth of e-liquid, right? And but sometimes in life you just got to, regardless of the price, you got to take the plunge, right?
That's why you get the concentrates. That way you essentially quintuple your value.
I agree full-heartedly.
Yeah, I've got some homemade hazy custard here that I've been vaping on.
Nice.
You know what, Addie, you're probably right. That's exactly where that's coming from. It probably is the oregano.
Yeah, there is an oregano, and there's a really strong oregano flavor right away.
I almost taste like a basil in there or something.
Oh, yeah, there's basil.
Yeah.
There's definitely basil.
There's definitely basil.
Ooh, somebody's getting an ass whooping.
I hope it's not me.
No, I let one of my buddies come in and try some of Adore's different flavors. And I was like, yeah, you can take the peach colada if you want. It's not really something I'm into. And this dickhead, I just now noticed, took my hazy custard and left with it.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is an ass whooping.
That's just waiting to happen. Lay his ass clean the fuck out.
Dickhead.
And then remind him to vote.
Matt, I like where your head's at. Because he just spent 180 Canadian on his Adore order.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so much worth. It's so worth it just to take that plunge sometimes, you know, regardless.
I think once you taste them, Permit, you'll know why we all kind of just rant and rave about it.
I get it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I dropped the ball fully a couple of weeks back. Remember that one show we did with Robbie? And after the show, he said he was showing off all his hazy custard concentrates he had.
I should have asked him.
Well, he offered me a bottle the next day. He messaged me and said, "Hey, Permit, come on down to Vape Depot. I got a bottle of hazy custard for you." And I felt bad. I said, "I can't take your hazy custard from you." And so I didn't bother. And now I'm kicking my butt for.
You know, a man offers me some hazy custard, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't had. I'm not addicted yet. I haven't had my first hit, so.
Later, Addy.
Once you get that black tar rolling through your veins.
Yeah, no doubt. Good night, Mr. Tooney. Thank you.
Have a good one, Addy.
You'll be freebasing that stuff by the end of the day, that's for sure.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Main veining it between the toes.
You know, for the classy broad on here, I would.
You know. Shoot in the armpit, you know, wherever it's hidden.
Yeah, I do love this. It's like a lemon sugar cookie.
Oh, this is great. I've got the limoncello or the Leviathan in here, the Phantom Ravioli in here. It's like dinner and dessert. You can't go wrong.
Jesus, TJ, it didn't seem like that long ago you were just sitting there with that e-cigator. Now you got mods all over. You're doing so awesome. That's great, man. It's been really, I've said it a million times, but it's been really cool to see your progress and just your journey.
And I appreciate having you on. And not to mention the pleasure and honor of getting to be on one of your first guests there on your show.
I wouldn't have it any other way, man. That was a great time. We had troubles clicking up on that too, but it was well worth it. A lot of fun. I was more than honored to have you on. You got a great story, great guy, and I felt bad. I just haven't been able to connect with you on the Wednesday nights for the show, but we're here, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Which that brings me to a good point. I've been trying to bring somebody on out of the audience every week. This week I shied away from it because I knew you were going to be on. So what I actually wanted to do was something similar and give you a chance to share your story on my show.
Well, sure. I don't know where to start. Back in 2002, I phoned Asia and talked to a guy named Han Leek, and I said, hey, listen, I think we should make like an electronic cigarette. And he said, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And that's pretty much where it all started.
Really? You just had me roll.
I brought that up actually because we'll get into that a little later maybe when we touch on some advocacy. I was a little disappointed with that particular individual, but same kind of thing as a lot of us. Vaping came along. I first tried it, I think it was around 2010, and I started off, I got myself a cheap Chinese Cigalite type thing. It was kind of cool actually because it came in this little box that looked like a cigarette pack, and when you screwed in the batteries and plugged it into the wall and it charged, and then there's these little plastic cartridges that you could order and that came with it, 5 packs or 8 packs I think, and they were terrible e-liquid inside them. You'd got maybe 3 or 4 puffs out of each cartridge, and we saw a little vapor and thought, hey, this is kind of cool. I can really see I'm going to give up cigarettes and this and that. And much like Fresh, I came across a kit in North America, and it was around $150, and it was pretty expensive to maintain, and it just wasn't cutting it. And so I kind of phased away from the vaping at that point. I did collect. I got into as far as the Ego 600 milliamp batteries, I think it was, and the the C3s I think were just coming out at the time, and I kind of packed it in at that time. I just got tired of waiting. There wasn't many options in Canada for buying equipment and stuff, and there was a couple juice manufacturers at the time, Jughead's being one of them, and it was just tough to get stuff, and to wait for stuff from China, and it sat at the border at customs and stuff. It was just it was too much, and I just ended up going back to cigarettes, and I smoked for quite a while after that. And it was late 2000 or mid 2015 that I was having some issues at work. I started noticing that every time I bent down and stood up, I was getting really dizzy. And I thought at first it was maybe like my diet, iron deficiency, things of that nature, and this continued. And I tried, vitamin supplements, changing my diet, eating healthier and stuff. Didn't really do a whole lot for me, so I went and got the doctor to run me through a bunch of testing, and it came back that I had COPD, and he pretty much said that if you don't pack in the cigarettes, you're going to be walking around with an oxygen tank. So I smoked for a little while longer, and my daughter came over one night. I thought about vaping. I had this box of this old vape equipment in the back, and you see, you got to understand too, at the time when I gave it up originally the first time, there's a lot of pressure from Health Canada, nicotine, and it was being seized at the border, equipment was being seized at the border. I honestly, in my head, I thought it was just going to be something that was going to be phased out pretty fast, so I didn't even think about vaping at that point. But my daughter came over, and she had a little Ely 40-watt battery and a Nautilus mini tank, I think it was. And I was absolutely blown away by the clouds she was blowing, and the taste was a lot better, and these few juices she had were pretty amazing. So I ran out and I grabbed myself, I think it was the 50-watt E-Leaf and an iJust 2 tank. And it was kind of funny because I didn't understand the concept of sub-ohm vaping, because when I was vaping, like a Cardo was like 2-point-something ohms as opposed to this, under 1 ohm sort of thing that we're doing now. And I got home with that iJust 2 tank, and I had this e-liquid from 2011 that was 36 milligram nicotine. I filled the tank with that, took a couple blasts off that iJust 2 tank, and I just went on my ass, is what happened. And the rest is kind of history. I started digging into what was going on in the community. I was just astounded at the growth. I was astounded at how big the community got. I used to just hang out basically at ECF back in the day, and when I realized like there was no more, like there was still the forums, but it was more videos and things of that nature. I got onto YouTube. You type in vaping, you come across Rip Trippers and Indoor Smokers and Grim Green. And one night, a couple weeks in, I came across this little guy in Seattle sitting there showing you how to make e-juice, and that just clicked for me. And so when it comes to my buddy Fresh, it's I credit him a lot with what triggered my journey and got me right into what it is now. And I was I sat back. I didn't ever comment. I didn't talk, but I really enjoyed the concept of these videos, these how-to videos, the review videos, and these live shows. And then I started chatting here and there, and in the chat during the shows, and I wanted to do something because I for whatever reason it clicked with me right away that what was coming with the FDA. What was Canada going to do? That there was, places in the other side of the world that was starting to shut things down. And I thought, what was going on? So I started to get into that, and that just became a passion. And here I am today, and credit all of you guys, the entire community, is what keeps me ticking. Fresh and I discussed this the other day. It's something that I honestly feel I could pack everything in a box and set it down and never ever touch a cigarette again, and I'm very grateful for that. I feel blessed for that, but there's a camaraderie with the community and the absolute passion to give other people the gift that I was given in getting off the cigarettes in a fast, effective way and an enjoyable way. It was not painful at all. Even with patches and gums and things of that nature, we all went through some kind of excruciating mental block and some pain with that. But vaping is the most enjoyable transition I've ever experienced for any method I tried.
That's it to 100% too. It's out of all of those methods, I feel the exact same way. And you're right. If it wasn't for Fresh, I wouldn't be here either.
Yeah, very, very big influence on more people than he probably knows, and it's and him and I talked about that the other night too. It's just we are both, well, there's so many of us and we all believe that it's for the guy that no one can be left behind. We got to do what we can, and regardless of what happens with government regulations, Fresh said it, and I'll say the same thing. I will continue to do this until I'm put behind bars.
Yeah, and that's the only way to go at this point.
Yeah.
To be honest, my biggest thing is, especially being so new to vaping, I feel bad for those that are not going to get the chance if all of this stuff continues to roll downhill the way it's rolling.
Well, you put if the government's put any kind of ban or negative media on anything, the majority feel it's something that's wrong. That it's not right to do because the government's banning it, so it can't be good to do. So it's unfortunate, and it's something that we just got to continue to do. And Gizzard has said this numerous times. The education is the most important part of it, because these people that are out there that are afraid to touch it because they feel it's illegal and it's something bad, they need to be educated on the fact of how effective and how beneficial it truly is.
That's That's it down to a T. It is all about educating the next person, whether they be a smoker, non-smoker, vapor alike.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. But it's I got a lot to be grateful for. I just can. I'm so incredibly blessed with the people that I'm surrounded with. It's an incredible community, incredible. And again, Fresh and I talked about that the other night. It's been talked about numerous times. I mean, how often when we smoked did we, garner friendships and interact with somebody over smoking? We all have that little thing in our head, we all in the back of our minds are so grateful and so passionate about the fact that we were able to get out of that cigarette entrapment, that tobacco entrapment, that I think that's where the appreciation for one another comes within the community, is we all have that common bond. No matter what we choose to do with the vaping journey, we've all got that one common bond that makes it so easy to interact within each other, within the community.
I don't mean to interrupt here, but I do have to say shout out to Phenom. Hello, Phenom. Welcome.
That heart's for Phenom. Nobody else try and grab that heart. That's for Phenom.
Phenom's a great cat, man.
Yeah, he is. Phenom, you guys don't realize what a great dude Phenom is.
He gives
no idea.
Gives great foot.
And actually, Phenom is right. That's something I do need to put down in my description there. I do need to put my Vaporium down there, so that way those of you who are not members can go down there and join.
Right.
I don't get on there as much as I'd like to, but...
Yeah, same here.
If it wasn't banned at my work computer, I'd be there all day. I think that's the only thing that has saved me from not being just a 24/7 on their guy, is the fact that it's banned at my work.
Can I ask a question of the whole panel?
Most definitely. Feel free.
How long has everybody as individuals been vaping?
Oh, shit.
I'll go ahead and I'll pick that one up right from the start. Mine was end of November, beginning of December, so you can do the math on that. I think it's, 8 months at this point?
Okay.
Almost 4 years?
Yeah, right on, Chris.
Almost 4 years now. It's screaming towards, I think, November is 4 years, I want to say. Dates and times do not stick up here. I'll tell you that much already.
Is my sound any better now?
Absolutely.
All right. So as of this second, 321 days, 22 hours, 16 minutes, and 39 seconds.
How are you? Nice one.
Wow.
Good job, Ray.
October of 2014.
And I've been going on and off since I think my junior year of high school, because my buddy's dad had a vape mod that we would smoke every time he left the house for work.
And for me, it's been altogether probably 4 years, but there was a 4-year gap in there as well. But since with real vaping, you know what? I just passed my 1 year. It was on the 16th of July.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I didn't even think about that until now.
Giancarlo, you're going to have to backtrack a little bit. You missed a permit story, and then also I see Phenom, 1 year, 3 months, 7 days, and 12 hours.
Way to go, Phenom.
It seems like Phenom's been around the community forever. That's just the type of guy he is. He just kind of seamlessly melded with the crowd.
March of 2015 for Phenom.
Wow.
And he has more high-end vape gear than anybody I know.
Oh, man.
I just look at his shelf and start drooling.
Every time I see him on a show, I just get jealous. I'm like, really? How? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Pizza. He owns a pizzeria.
And actually, I think it is a little time for a little bit more of that here.
Phantom ravioli? Oh, yeah.
And we're going to put a little more on.
Edward was November 2014.
I've just had my 2 year, and
did you? Congratulations.
I'm at about 25 months now. So yeah.
LabWorks Vapes. There's a character.
Mr. Paula, yeah, big shout out, love to Paul out there in the chat box.
He's gonna kill me when he hears his introduction on my podcast tomorrow.
Did you call him the sweetest cunt in Australia?
No, wait till you hear it. I'm not even gonna go into it. You're just gonna have a great time with it, I think. He's gonna laugh too because he actually started that, but it's pretty funny. I got a kick out of it anyway.
He says elitist in training, huh?
Taking lessons from Brian.
No, actually, Permit, I did want to touch on that article that you shared. I got a chance to read that on one of my breaks. That was, I don't even know how to feel about that. Like, the idea behind the interview was solid. However, the answers the guy that he was giving was not what I was expecting when I started reading it at all. I was thoroughly disappointed, to say the least.
Well, let's put it this way. I mean, I think there's more and more indications that you'll hear on the podcast tomorrow too. I did a little segment on Malaysia, and the big pharma companies over there are trying to grab onto the e-juice and stuff as well. And with this guy being a part of that realm, he could have gone so many different avenues after inventing it. He's in that realm. It kind of tells you where things might be headed,
And that's very true. I mean, like, just a little bit of story he gave on himself, though. Like, his idea was solid in the way that he invented it. However, the way that he feels about it now, I don't think that that's the right route. I mean, yes, there needs to be some sort of implications in place to make sure things are set. We're not selling to minors, things of that nature.
Yeah.
However, the way he was talking, he's like, I'm fine if the hammer comes down. And that just didn't seem right.
Yeah. Well, he's like I said, he's in with with the Blue Company, and I was kind of disappointed because I watched a documentary a week or so ago. It was a 50-minute documentary. I think I posted it on my Facebook page. It was from BBC, and he was on that, and they spoke to him about the invention. He had the original prototype with him and stuff, and they translated some of what he had to say. But they showed him sitting on the bench vaping and stuff. Then when I read that article and find out that he still vapes kinda, but he still smokes cigarettes just to stay in touch with the taste of tobacco and such, it kind of blew me away, really.
Why wouldn't you just buy a tobacco-flavored e-liquid? There's plenty of them out there that taste just like it.
Oh, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And that was the predominant flavor coming out of China, even back in the day. I mean, let's face it, whenever we quit, we're all looking for that tobacco flavor, and I remember, like, all the main tobacco juices were all out of China, the Marlboro and XYZ, but so there's tons of them over there, but
I have something to interject here.
Yes,
China today is population-wise almost 50% of the Chinese people smoke.
Yeah.
So it's like going back to 1960s in America. They're about 50, 60 years behind the curve on this deal, and so it doesn't really surprise me that he still dabbles in cigarettes, just because it's almost like, when everybody smokes, there's a different perception about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this in theory, this should kind of open people's eyes. Quinn, you're over in Okinawa. Or does everybody and their mom still smoke over there?
On this island, not as much. If you go up to mainland Japan, it is substantially more common. Like, we talk about the stat in the States being like somewhere around 20 to 30%. Yeah. Here, I'd say you're closer to 40%, but a lot of that's because they're adapting to a Western curve a lot faster than their natural relation with us. But you look at the rest of Southeast Asia, like Gizzard said, they're stuck in the 50s when it comes to smoking.
Yeah.
Japan is not China.
Yeah, I know, but I was bringing up the point of what I was bringing up with that point, what that part of the world is like. When I was in Korea, everybody smoked. Everybody.
Yeah. Like it's continued to grow so bad in South Korea that the South Korean military has even put out like bounties for different units, saying if you can get your unit to quit smoking, we'll add X number of dollars to your budget.
Yeah. I could see the little rock star majors just slapping cigarettes out of people's hands.
Oh, it's better than that. There was one that I got sent the other day on my buddy's Snapchat feed of a no shit dude getting drop kicked at a range by a Korean sergeant major for trying to light up a shitty Korean cigarette.
That's one way to get them to stop smoking.
It was fantastic.
If you guys want to know fear in your life, if you want to see what real fear looks like, go to Korea sometime if you have a chance to get around the Korean army. See what happens when a Korean sergeant major comes wandering around. You will see the fear of fear of God in these people's eyes. It is so funny. And the Katusha sergeant majors, they're old rock sergeant majors. They just happen to get put in charge of these Katushas, and it's glorious to watch because they're, you know, Katushas generally, I'm making a generalization, but they're a little more pampered. They're a little bit more the pampered side of the population, and all of a sudden they're dealing with someone that's been in the Republic of Korea Army for 20 years. It's pretty glorious.
I think the capitalizing pimp slapping that I've ever seen from a Korean NCO of any kind was one that had to ride the bus when I was on Camp Humphreys. And he's getting on the bus behind some of his lower enlisted, and none of them greeted the bus driver. And as he's walking to his seat, just like no warning, bop, 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 both sides of the aisle as he goes to his seat. And then he just sits down like nothing happened. And I was like, holy shit.
Yep. It's something else to be over there and experience that. It was.
Ooh, Giancarlo is getting some South Korean love out there apparently.
Nice. Was it? I'm assuming you're probably shipping to the army. That's right. Ohmageddon taking over the world. But yeah, it's a different thing, and a lot of it has to do with just how they do view their elders. A lot because those people grew up smoking. They're the people that they respect in their lives. They see that and they think that is what they should emulate, is their parents and their grandparents, and so it's kind of a rolling downhill thing over in Asia, and it's, I mean, if you looked at it, you would say it's an epidemic just how many people smoke over there.
Exactly, and you know, you'll hear in my article tomorrow. It's pretty interesting the scare tactics that the governments use in Southeast Asia. Like in a lot of the regions there, you know, vaping's completely banned over there. And even in Malaysia was pretty much considered like a vaping paradise because it was, you know, basically self-regulated like it was here for the longest time, and the crunch is coming down on them as well. And an interesting statistic that I found was in October of 2014, they had 800,000 vapors approximately, and within 7 months, that dropped down to 200,000 just because of the scare tactics from the government.
I believe it, because I think Malaysia was one of the crews that threw someone in jail for it.
I believe so as well. I believe you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's a scary world over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about France?
France is very progressive, just like the rest of Europe. It's kind of a generalization that all the French people smoke.
Yeah.
They don't like it much, just like most folks don't like it much. Like I said, they're slightly behind. Everywhere but the UK is generally slightly behind where the US is as far as smoking goes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not that far behind.
Does anyone, trivia question, does anyone know where in the United States was the first place to ban smoking in public? I know the answer to this question.
Would that be San Francisco, California? That seems like a very San Francisco, California thing to do.
No, it would be Boulder, Colorado.
That does also seem like a very Boulder, Colorado thing to do.
That was very bold of him.
Yeah, Boulder, Colorado will ban a good time every chance they get.
Note to self, stay out of Boulder.
Unless it's weed.
Yeah, unless it's weed.
Yeah, if you're smoking weed, you'd be all right in Boulder, but
So,
I think that's where the shitty Colorado 2% beer came from too.
No, that came from Golden.
Well, no, Golden produces full strength beer too, but I think the near beer halvesy beers that they sell everywhere, I think that came out of something in Boulder too.
Probably.
Gotta love near beer.
Just spin you all on your heads. I'm drinking 0% beer right now.
Ah, very nice. There's near beer right there.
And that stuff's just a pissing contest.
Yeah, I remember drinking. What was that, Quinn?
They sell those at a lot of like Japanese bars. The drinking culture's so huge here, and those things are disgusting. Like just absolutely god awful.
This is a New Zealand one, and it's actually quite bloody nice. It's a citrus lemon beer.
Ooh.
Well, hang on, I'll turn my camera on for 5 seconds and show you guys it, because I'm feeling really self-conscious at the minute, because I don't even have my glasses on, don't have a fake face on, and I'm not even dressed.
My eyebrows look like I got dick slapped by Chewbacca, and I'm still
My parents. This is my 0% beer right now.
That's a spirit.
You freaking kidding me?
I'm all about the Asahi Super Dry, the Asahi Black. That is a damn good beer out here. That looks like a less flamboyant version of a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It does.
It's a really nice brew, and I wanted something refreshing, but I've got to do some driving later today, so hence the no alcohol.
Well, fair enough.
Just keeping it legal, because I've got to drive an hour away to get home later on, so I'm enjoying a beer without booze.
I don't think that's beer. Isn't that Kool-Aid?
It almost could be, darling. It really almost could be.
But it's Kool-Aid with hops.
Mm-hmm.
Up here, that's training beer.
Yeah,
Kids.
I remember walking into the dining facility in Iraq and saw Budweiser on the shelf and got all excited.
Yep.
Picked it up. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Budweiser NA. Man, the Army really knew how to tease you. It was terrible too. And everybody got all excited that day. We walked in, and I think we managed to talk some of the TCNs into giving us just a case of this stuff. And we walked out, and we were just sitting in the smoking area we had built up, and we were just sitting around drinking our Budweisers, and everybody's looking at us like we're insane.
That's so familiar.
Yeah, that near beer, it just confuses your body because you feel like you should be getting a little bit of a buzz going, and there's just nothing to it. There's nothing.
The buzz never comes.
It's something you'll never hear at a stadium.
It just makes you angry.
You know that? You never hear at a stadium. Near beer here.
That's for sure. That shit happened here in Wisconsin. They'd probably laugh that motherfucker right out of the state.
The almost beer, eh?
Because that's the close but not quite beer.
Yeah.
I will say, seeing that multiple advertisements about the 60 rack coming to Wisconsin, I was kind of disappointed in my state that it was from Coors Light, but I was happy that it was a 60 rack.
Yeah, I saw that. The Wisconsin only 60 rack of Coors Light. What does that tell you about our state?
That's about enough for a sitting.
Per person.
Oh, that would have got us through maybe half a night in Fort Polk.
Yeah, it would not have gotten us through a full night.
Yeah.
Rack.
Article I read was saying that that single rack, that single 60 rack, is they're expecting to be enough for one individual drinker to have a week's worth of beers in Wisconsin.
They're out of their
Like,
minds.
nah, that's an understatement. I was like, you guys must be averaging that with the people who have like a recreational beer.
You're not thinking about the Wisconsin professional drinker.
Right.
Yeah.
The person that sits in the dive bar from like 8 to 8, just hammering all day.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Retirees just won't go down.
I drank for 20 hours straight when I was at Fort Polk once.
Oh yeah.
I think you were there for that one, TJ. I think you were at least part of it.
I think there was a day I came off of work and you guys were about 2 hours into it, and I was like, all right, well, let's do this. I got the next couple days off.
Fresh was
That's
drinking Pops.
No, we were drinking whatever people would go to the store and get us.
And it's like, here's $20. We can't drive right now. Go get us something.
People getting off work were like, we're like timing the shifts too. We're like, okay, we've got another hour till somebody gets off work that we can go get us more beer. And it was me and one other person, and we called it a tie. It was a contest to see who could drink the longest. And we called it a tie because both of us felt like shit and we wanted to go to sleep. Should have just done a tour de Franzia. That would have put a sour end to that.
Oh, good God.
Good day.
That one's one of those things I'll never forget, ever. And that Tour de Franzia, that was miserable.
And our beer Olympics?
Oh, good God. Oh, yeah. That was a good time. Pushing my truck through the parking lot as an event while chugging beer.
I remember getting off work, walking into the barracks, and First Sergeant stand down at the end of the hallway and calls me over. He's like, "So what can you tell me about the beer Olympics?" I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, fucking end up going through a binge drinking class up in ASAP for that.
I remember, dude, someone was narking out on us every chance they got.
It was Eddie.
It was who?
Eddie, the little Hawaiian guy from Kauai. Lived on the first floor over, I think it was like 102 or something like that. He's actually my first roommate, and I actually went to the first sergeant. I was like, you guys need to get me the hell out of this room.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't get along with the guy. He's always all up in the shit. We can't have none of this. And then I ended up living with the Super Jew for almost 4 years.
Good cat, though. Good cat.
He was, up until the day that I went on leave for 2 weeks, and I came back with a note in my fridge that says, all of your beer has been hijacked in the name of Hezbollah.
You got dizzled. You got dizzled, son.
I did.
Better than getting diddled.
Love to my co-host who's hanging out there in the chat box.
Hi, Megs.
Megs, how you doing?
Megs.
You missed it early. Moxley said she's finishing the strawberry submission, and damn Megs. Damn her.
Damn her to hell.
That is not what I said, honey.
That is exactly what she told me.
Oh, I'm so tempted to though. There's like literally like a smidge left in the bottom of the bottle, and it's like I have to stop vaping it now, otherwise Megs is not going to get any.
And sometimes that's not always a bad thing, unless you really don't like your friends.
Oh no, I told her I would share some Dawn in Love with her, and I'm going to send her some of all of the flavors that Dawn sent me. And yeah, and the strawberry submission has been going down way too quick for Meg's liking.
This is what I've managed to stop myself from vaping, of strawberry submission.
Oh, nice.
And my bottle's the opposite, but I just got it today.
Okay.
Says it won't be tomorrow.
Yeah, my Addie's yogurt is about 2 days old. We're down probably 50 mils on it.
All right, I had to rewick. I tried to dip something else on top of that pizza, and it just does not work.
No, the pizza stays. You gotta clean your Addy out.
Yeah, I just cleaned it all out while we were sitting here chatting. That shit is phenomenal. However, note to self, I'm gonna have to put that in something where that's gonna be strictly pizza and nothing else.
Yep, she's gonna. Your wife's gonna walk through and be like, "Did you order a pizza?"
I know. That was my thought. The second I tasted it, I'm like, oh god, this is gonna smell delicious in here. I'm gonna have neighbors knocking on the door.
Nice. Giancarlo was vaping Addy's yogurt. Me too.
Nice.
Yes, I did. And I actually rewicked and put a little bit of that Bali in there. That shit is fucking amazing too.
I love Bala Song.
Yeah, that's definitely one I gotta try for sure.
That I was surprised with the coconut in there. I was like, I don't know. But the second I put it on there, that really brings it all together so well.
Yep. That's kind of how it is with all of his e-liquids. You're like, okay, there's one flavor in this. It doesn't seem like it belongs, but that's the flavor that brings it all together. Like the Fat Tony. I look at the Fat Tony and I'm like, okay, tiramisu, coffee, I can dig that. What on earth does he need the tobacco in here for? And then you vape it and you're like, that's why you need the tobacco in there.
Oh yeah.
Definitely knows his way around some good palatable flavors that match together, that's for sure.
And permit, if you're looking at the duck pond and you ever had a clove cigarette, get that jar. It'll take you right back to it.
Right on. Yeah, I was checking that out. Now I thought, holy crap.
I got sent some of that, and it was amazing. It's spot on.
Wicked. Yeah, because there's not a great deal that you can really do with clove, you know.
I've almost killed my regular bottled Bala Song.
That really looks good too. Yeah.
It is.
Most definitely something you'll have to check out.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll be on that very soon.
Similar to, people need to go over and check out your boy over at Jugheads, because I've slowly been working my way through that stuff. He's got some phenomenal stuff going on there.
Jugheads is an amazing mixologist, and I'm not just saying that because I'm affiliated with him. He truly is. Like I said, he was one of the first Canadian juice companies around. He's been doing it for close to 6 years, or a little over 6 years. And I'll tell you, the guy hand bombs every bottle of juice that he puts out, and he still does it old school. By drops and whatever, and it's just to the point, on point every time. And I've had, since I've been in with them, I've had pretty close to 60 of his juices, and there's out of that one, there was one that I would never buy, but the rest of them for sure. Yeah, he's pretty amazing as well. There's some phenomenal artists out there with you know, e-juice manufacturing, and the way I see it, going back to the little bit of advocacy, if you've got to make a real splashy label and, you know, borderline trademark infringement and stuff, then your product isn't going to speak for itself. You find the ones that are in modest containers and whatnot, it's outstanding. You take what goes on with the door. A doors is pretty basic, as basic as you're going to get. Jughead's the same way. Several of them. The better ones are just let the bottle speaks for themselves.
Yep.
That's like here on Island, we had a female that was a custom mixer, and she just left, but she has the most astounding vape juice anywhere I've been able to find on this whole fucking country,
Really?
including mainland. And it's the most doldrum-looking bottle in the world. But this stuff is amazing. This one's the pod people. It's like pomegranate, blueberry, yogurt, and lemon, I think.
Yeah.
And it just destroys all the fruity flavors I've tried. It is so damn good.
Yeah. That is cool. Yeah, it's unfortunate the society that we live in that we're attracted to flashiness. You know, it's a matter of some of these juices. You make sure you got to try them before you realize how outstanding they are. Then it spreads by word of mouth. But if you go into a vape shop and you got these flashy labels and you got these ones sitting there with black and white labels, or much like the one you just showed, it doesn't appeal. You know, it just doesn't stand out. We're creatures of attraction, basically. But once somebody gets a hold of it and realizes how good it is and starts spreading it around, then it snowballs, right?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah, like a door. A door
Yes.
is it is a avalanche at this point.
Black
Yeah,
and
that's
white
some
generic labels.
sort of get.
Black and white generic labels kind of on the door products, but what's inside it? Yum.
that's right. I don't give a fuck what my bottle looks like as long as the shit inside is tasting good.
Exactly.
However, if your name is Giancarlo from Ohmageddon Eliquid, you have an amazing fucking bottle, and the product inside is fucking amazing as well. So
Hey,
that's just a double win.
Yeah, there's some that knock it out of the park both ways for sure.
Cool.
Now, one thing I will say about a door, I never noticed this before, but when she marks your nick, it's a heart.
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
No, this is the first bottle I noticed it on.
Right on. That's cool.
Yep, the little hearts from Dawn.
I love that. It was a nice sweet touch when I got my package too.
That it is.
I remember when I first started watching, watching YouTube videos, but more so the live shows, and then getting into Vaporium, and it was puzzling for a while. Like, what the hell is an adore whore?
Now you're sitting in a room full of them.
Yeah.
That's when you have to go to the street corner so you can buy some more Dawn concentrates.
Yep, slinging whatever you can to get some more Adore.
Right on.
Get some Addie's yogurt, everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's something else I'm hoping to finish up for you by the weekend, buddy. Is that little project where I was working on for you.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can find some.
TJ, did you get that file?
Yeah, I'm just figuring out where the fuck to save it to so that way I can get this taken care of and put on here. That's pretty awesome. I like that.
Everybody, I was just informed by Kathy Vapes that ST is disqualified from her drawing. So if you were interested in heading over to Kathy Vapes' channel, you have a chance of winning. ST is disqualified.
Lovely.
Speaking of creatures of attraction, I'm all about just non-functional, nice-looking shit. So I actually did wind up breaking down. Last time I was on the show was a couple weeks ago. People will now remember, but pulled up those e-liquid pipes, those e-pipes.
Yeah.
And I fleshed out and got a custom one made to actually replicate the one that Gandalf smokes in the movie, complete with like the fucking 2.5 foot long piece coming in the mouth. I'm so fucking hyped.
Oh,
that's gonna be cool to see.
When you come back to the States, guard it, because I'm going to take that thing from you.
He better not bring it back, because I might take it from him.
I have to wait for him to finish making it. It's he said it's like 3 weeks to make it, is what he's guessing, and then it's about 2 to 3 weeks to ship it here.
Oh,
very cool. That's gonna be cool to see.
I'm excited.
I'm always looking at those church warden drip tips too, and I'm like, oh, I should just get one. A drip tip that's like that long.
I mean, yeah, it's $150 out of pocket, but it's the coolest looking $150 I'm gonna have spent the last couple months. So, okay.
Absolutely.
Quinn, it's kind of like this box. This is a Lazy Vapors Squawk box.
There it is. All right.
Special.
I bought that for my 6-month anniversary of not smoking, and it's underpowered, but it looks really nice on my shelf.
Awesome. Nice wee addition to the shelf there, Nico.
To who? What in the bottle shower?
I said, nice wee addition to the shelf.
Oh.
Although butter in the shower could be fun too.
TJ, that looks pretty decent on yours.
Does it look all right? I like it. Just from what you sent me, it looked awesome. I dig it.
Oh.
See, now I'm looking at vaping pipe mods.
Oh, shit. That sounds fun.
Now I just gotta find like a screen for my mouth so that when I exhale it can make the actual shape of the ship. That's the end goal here.
Wizard pipes. Now you're talking. Now you're talking to me. epipemod.com.
Fresh, whatever happened to your top? You still got it?
Oh yeah, it's at work.
Oh, that's a work toy.
Yeah, I sit there at work and I sit in it, and I just sit there waiting for the next person to come in, and they come in and they're like, "Is that thing even moving?" I'm like, "Yes."
That is so cool.
Yes, it is, and I'm staring at it. I'll be with you when I'm done.
I remember when you guys got into the topic that one night of those on the show, and the last hour and a half of the show was just tops and watching your top.
That's right. Me and understudy.
That's right. That's right. It was with understudy. That's right.
Your 9-minute and 30-second video of the top spinning.
That's right.
It doesn't look like anything's actually happening.
Except for Fresh is just sitting there staring at the damn thing, vaping.
And I'll never ever forget the one Saturday morning, I think it was, I woke up and I open up YouTube and say, Fresh is doing a Pokemon live stream.
I have varied interest, Permit. You may not have known that.
You're a versatile guy. I'm finding all this out, you know?
Yeah. I was working on a new type of Nuzlocke. If anybody plays Pokemon and knows what a Nuzlocke is.
Oh, I just crushed a Nuzlocke run on my buddy's 3DS.
Nice. Yeah, it was a variation on a wedlock. It was going to be called the Swinger Lock because the only Pokemon you couldn't trade back to was your own partner. So you could switch all around. So it's slightly easier than a wedlock, but it's still. I lost a lot of Pokemon.
Gotta go for that Bidoof only Nuzlocke run.
Oh man, just all Bidoofs.
Just nothing but a fucking HM whore.
That's right. That's right. Headbutt for every single move.
Dead.
It does not work at all against a fighting Pokemon. Well, shit.
That gym took so long to beat. If you just pure luck, I had to wait for critical hits on everything.
Oh man. Yeah, I was playing a Nuzlocke in Platinum, I think, and I got up and Cynthia just demolished me over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I planned so carefully for her Pokemon, and there's just no getting around the fucking Garchomp when it comes in.
Later, Broseph.
Good job.
Later, Quinn.
Take it easy, Quinn. Nice meeting you, man.
Word. Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah, take it easy.
Right back, hold down the fort. Daddy duty's call.
Okay. I'll show everybody what I just found. Someone's got like a mech, like an 18650 Gandalf mech, with a dark horse on it. I'm like, what? Yes.
Mox's jaw this dropped.
And then I can't present myself. I can only You can only see it when I'm talking, but yeah, right here. Look at this.
Oh wow!
Look at that. The Gandalf style Liptus.
Look at the price of those things, man.
I know, you're right. Yeah, basically it's a wooden mech.
That is so cool, though.
Yeah, I got the Dark Horse strapped to that thing. Oh, I've got a Dark Horse too. I think I have that exact same Dark Horse. Out of stock, $175.
Wow.
I think are all of them out of stock? Nope, this one, the Gandalf Black Palm is in stock. $175. That's got a Dark Horse on it too. Why are you doing this to me, eatpipemods.com?
I could inquire about getting you a coupon code for them if you were interested there, Fresh. As one of my fellow network hosts over on Probe Live, ePipe Mods is a sponsor of their show.
Ooh. We will have to chat about this. $400. I need a coupon code for $400. They've only got one style in, and that's that black one, and that's not even the. See, like this with that stand. See.
Oh wow. Yeah. That is just sick.
Yeah.
That is so cool, man. I had no idea.
And this one just kind of. It's an 18500. I wouldn't do an 18500, but. Yeah, just look at that. Look at that thing. Look at it. Comes with that nice. Comes with that stand too. Just have that thing sitting on my desk at work. I'm sure that would go over really well working in a health clinic.
That is so cool looking, man. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one downfall of being so passionate about advocacy. You spend all day reading articles and stuff instead of looking at stuff like that. Like I'm rocking my iStick 30 watt here tonight.
I mean, that's the device I gave my brother-in-law and my sister to try and get them off smokes. And my brother-in-law, he got off. My little sister still smokes.
Well, whatever works, whatever gets you to stay off them, right?
Yeah.
It'd be very cool to get into some really like collector type stuff, but I just can't. I got to put my resources elsewhere and stay focused on what I love, And as long as I'm vaping, that's all. That's good enough for me.
That's
not the text message.
As long as you're not smoking, doesn't matter what you're using.
That's absolutely right. But it is very cool to see that kind of stuff. Like I knew about like the smoke e-pipe, but I had no idea about art like that. That's just sick.
Yeah, exactly. That's the type of stuff. Like I like that smoke e-pipe.
Yeah.
But I don't. I like the craftsmanship on something like that far more, and that's what I
appreciate the art of it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I can see like Addy Holder, Don Addy Holder, as well.
I've asked about that before, and he said he doesn't have an interest in it.
Yeah, but even what he does is amazing. Like I can definitely see the interest in that. I mean, you can go down to a vape shop and buy a little, mod stand for a few bucks or whatever, but you have something like that, it's a whole different appreciation for the art of it.
No doubt.
Drip tips too. Some of those guys like Trey Mink and whatnot that do some of those crazy drip tips. Like it's just amazing. To me, it's astounding.
Have a look at that link I put up on the sidebar.
What's that, Moxley?
Have a look at the link I put up on the sidebar. One of my Kiwi mates here, he creates amazing handcrafted wood mods, swankers, and series mechs, and he is our top modder in the country for wood mods, and
wow.
his market is in the US.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that side of his is actually like nothing of really what he does. His main direct interaction is on eCig, the ecigaretteforum.com, ECF. That's predominantly where he does all of his interaction and sales. And yeah, oh my god, amazing pieces of art, I tell you.
Oh, I'm sure the pictures don't even do them justice, eh?
No, I will actually find that eSig link of his forum and just have a scroll through the last 260 pages. He's been going solid for 18 months, almost 2 years now, just doing this. He was one of our just normal hardware vendors, and he stopped doing that to concentrate on his wood mods, and his work astounding. Like the standard mods from Vicious Ant and what have you, nothing in comparison to the things coming out of Warren's workshop. Just hunting that link for you guys now. He will have a nice wee draw.
I'm sorry, did I interrupt something?
We were looking at e-pipes.
Uh-oh. Fucking Gwen.
$350. $450. But it's so sick it looks like a dragon. Alright, I'll go screen share that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
You're presented.
There we go.
Oh, man.
Well, that's a bit sexual.
That is gorgeous. Oh, what an idiot. I just went and clicked on the screen to make the picture bigger.
There you go.
Wow, look at that thing.
That is gorgeous, man.
Wow.
It's got its stand built right into it.
Yeah, it does.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
It's in stock, fresh.
I know it is.
Fill that with phantom ravioli.
Well, see, that's the thing, Giz. Let me pull this picture up. Everything, your tank screws right in here. And it's an 18650 mech.
Mm-hmm.
There's his tank.
Hell yeah.
That is cool, man.
That's awesome.
Probably got a 22 mil tank, right? Most interval. It says it's the most interchangeable pipe in the market.
Wow.
Addy Cape one would go in there.
So it's like, I guess, just it would suit pretty much any 22 mil mod or tank, eh?
Yeah. I'm betting.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm betting you could get a. I'm betting you could put like a sub tank in there. Or...
Yeah. 450 US. That's only what 1.3 million Canadian.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1.2 is what my brain was telling me.
And 250 million in Canadian Tire money. That is wild, man.
Hey, Isilis is here. What's happening, Isilis?
Oh, snuck in there. Hello.
There she is.
So, something we didn't get a chance to talk on a little bit, and I would like to, because last week we didn't talk on it hardly at all. That's a little bit of advocacy and advocacy news. And since I've got some outstanding people here for advocacy, I'd like to talk about it. Especially Permit and also Giz and Fresh. Mox, you're out there in New Zealand, you know what's going on there as well. So I'd like to touch on it a bit here before I end the show here tonight. So anything that you guys would like to talk about, please, let's do so. I think that's something that definitely needs to be talked out on every one of my shows. Last week didn't do it anywhere near as much as I would have liked to.
Good for you, TJ. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I don't know. Where do you want to start? Anybody else?
We started with last week. We were talking about that 40% for tax.
Oh, but it's worse. It's worse than we thought, TJ.
It's
Go
got
ahead
more,
on that one, Fresh.
I talked to which show did I talk about it on? Project Fog. Talked about it a little bit. Basically, every person that orders, if you order something or you go out of state and buy something when you come back, assuming that you follow the letter of the law, which I don't think very many people are going to, you are personally responsible for reporting and paying your 40% on all vape items on top of everything else. If you do not, you are subject to the same fines and persecution and prosecution, fines and prosecution, that a vape store would be. Not quite on the level, but you can get there quite quickly. So if you're in Pennsylvania, I would go out of state to buy your stuff, or I wouldn't tell them that you were buying your stuff. For sure. And that goes into effect 1 October, I want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't give them time at all to rebut it at all.
No, they did not.
There was another backroom deal too.
Yeah, from what I heard, the governor just kind of locked everybody in a room, said we're not leaving.
Yeah.
So, Pennsylvania. So Vaporous Vape actually shot a nice video about it.
So one thing I'd like to touch on about this type of ridiculous legislation is the fact that how viable is it going to be for their state government to enforce any of the crap that they put through? It seems to me like it's pretty far-fetched that they would be able to enforce any of it, and you know, I don't know what I don't understand their goal really.
Money snatch. Grab all the money you can before they think the industry is going to vanish overnight. That's what they're doing. They're grabbing as much of the money as they can. That's exactly what it is.
As far as that goes, I actually read something on that, and I followed a thread on it, and there was some guy trying to play devil's advocate on there, which A, was ridiculous to start with, and B, is like, well, cigarettes are taxed at 200%. Yeah, and that was a slow increase. It wasn't like this where it's just all of a sudden, bam, we're going to knock the piss out of you. So people didn't realize that there was that 200% on there, or whatever that percentage may be. We know it's up there. However, when you're going from a system that had little to no tax on it, and you're going to slam it and just try to catch up with everything so quickly, it's going to take major tolls on people. For one, it wasn't there in the first place, so they're not used to it. Two, the prices were already set. So basically what you're doing is, for paying for a 30 mil, you're basically making them pay for 1.5 30 mils and only getting that 1 30 mil.
Yeah.
Well, basically what you're doing is you're putting all the vape shops in that state out of business overnight. And so by doing that, now you're getting $0, because before you at least got state tax on purchases that were made by by people purchasing items from these businesses. Now there will be no businesses, which means they will be gaining no tax revenue because the businesses will no longer be there.
I can tell you the other half of that coin, Gizzard Stu, is that they want them to go back to smoking so that they can get their tobacco dollars back from the loans that they are defaulting on. Their tobacco settlement money. That's the other side of the coin. That, we talk about it on advocacy shows. There's one of the states that's defaulting, and they're forcing people to go back into smoking, and they're just lopping off the helping hand that's out there for people in one fell swoop. Because no business, I don't care how successful it is, can pay 40% floor tax on what they've got sitting in their shop.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous thought.
And what's going to happen is, end of November there, all of those shops are going to just do massive blowout sales to get rid of their inventory and then close their doors.
What they should do is they should move their stuff over to New Jersey and put it in a storage locker and open up an online store That's what they should do. Why take the hit? Why blow out? Why not continue to be able to make your income?
They could store it in Permit's garage up in Canada too.
I'm sure they could store it in Fresh's back room. I'd probably be all right.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, do you think this would have been as big of an issue as it is if they would have done like 10% additional tax instead of the 40?
No, not nearly as big a deal. And had they not done the floor tax, that's what's going to kill the shops. The shops cannot survive something like that overnight. They cannot do it. It's not overnight. It's a couple months down the road. So you could plan for it. You're not going to be able to do it. Like I said, I don't care how successful a business is. You're not going to be able to pay 40% tax on something that you haven't sold for 40% tax on your entire inventory. There's not a successful business out there that could probably do it.
Yeah.
That it's not built into the business plan. And the business plan, when these vape shops opened, it wasn't built like that. That's not how they work.
No, and then especially if they've got something that's high end where they're selling it for $300, 40% of that's fucking another ridiculous amount there. You're looking at another $120 on top of that.
Yeah, there you go. Look, Isilis, I almost called you by your proper name. Pardon me. Pardon me, Isilis.
What are you thinking, Fresh?
I know, right? That's happened a couple times. Yeah, the shop closed. The shop there closed. I know Vape Ross Vape said he was showing the pictures on his Facebook that showed saying, "Sorry, we're going out of business."
Yeah.
Yep. And I saw that, and this is going to be our last month. Come and get it before we're gone.
My personal assessment on those extreme situations like that is a scare tactic. I think they've came to the realization that they've vaping blew up overnight basically, and it's to a point where they can't grasp it unless they do something. So they're just weeding out the entire market in their areas just to be able to get a grasp on things and then get their hands in on the money.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would expect anybody honestly to come up with the 40%.
And that's most definitely the thing. Is part of that is they're probably scared. You look at how far it's come in, what they say, within a decade, how far it's come. They're scaring people because of the advancements they're making, the speed that they're making it, and they're not knowing what to do with all of that income that's sitting there that they could be getting their hands into. So they're trying to go in with an iron fist instead of going in there with kitty soft paws to slowly get into it.
Exactly, right. Well, I mean, you take a look at the statistics. I mean, cigarette smoking dropped at 1.5% for over a year for many years, and then all of a sudden it's dropping at huge rates, and they're realizing that the market has a bigger effect on the tobacco industry than what was happened previous. So they got to do something. So they put in these big huge numbers and scares the piss out of people. Let's face it, we know, just common sense tells you that any business you open, no matter what you're selling or what you're doing, it takes a good year. You got to get a good year under your belt before you start showing a profit. So only a lot of these shops and stuff, or the juice manufacturers and whatnot, they've only been around a couple years and they're just starting to show a profit. So they're gonna just shut their doors when those kind of numbers get fired at them. That's my thought, anyways. I may be wrong on that, but I think that's what they're trying to accomplish with it is just shutting down so that they can regulate it the way they want and get the compliance.
Mm-hmm. It's eradication by taxation. That's what they're doing.
Hey, but in advocacy, it's not always bad news. I mean, today came out that the Nicopure case is been merged with the Right to Be Smoke Free case in Washington, and they got a date set for October 19th.
Yep.
To start that one, and basically because the judge decided that they were both filed in the same court, that they were going to merge them, and so that's huge. I mean, realistically, that's huge. Nicopure involved with that one now too. That's going to be the one to watch for sure.
Yeah, and Nuka Pure did put out that they have officially joined.
Yeah.
So.
And that'll end up being, that's going to be the case that sets precedence, purely because of how large it is.
Well, exactly, and that's what we wanted to, because when the collaboration first started, and then there was already these couple lawsuits filed, it was kind of an indication that hold on, because the first one is going to be the one that sets the bar, right? But we actually, Sean kind of schooled us on that as well on the after show that one night, that kind of situation, there's nothing to panic over, because a lot of these will merge, and that's what's happened. He was exactly right on that.
Well, and the other catch was there is, I think I read that article, if I read it correctly, that judge said she would have merged other ones, however they weren't put up in the same jurisdiction, so she couldn't.
In the same courts, yeah. Lost Liquid's case was in California, so she couldn't merge it with the big one.
Yeah, because Lost Arts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually make some really good e-liquids.
Yeah, so that's a plus. I mean, there's good and there's bad. These days there's more bad, and another thing that I'd like to touch on too was the Senator Ron Johnson situation. I mean, it was amazing that a politician stood up and was doing what he was doing to get some answers from FDA, and especially in the position he's in. But there's some math to be done, and it's, if this cat and mouse game doesn't stop, what he has to do, and immediately he got the response from FDA. It wasn't what he wanted. It was basically robotic answers like they've been giving everybody on Twitter and everywhere else. But what he needs to do once, because he's filed his third letter, and he has to file or submit a formal legislative requisition at that point, and that would give FDA absolutely no choice but to respond with a 72-hour submission instead of playing this cat and mouse, because basically how it works under a legislative hearing, what happens is you make a written request of response, the recipient has 30 days to respond, and then technically you got to do it again for another 30 days, and then a third time for yet another 30-day window. And at this point, that's the point we're at kind of right now, and so you follow the scenario, he could request that congressional hearing, which would take and force the FDA to appear within a 6-month period, and then that process can take up to 3 months. So you do the math, that brings us into, we're in late July now, that's going to take us all the way up to probably May, and he's favored to lose this election by about 14% is the estimate right now. And if that's the case, unless his successor has the same stance, this process would have to be started all over again.
Actually, Permit, if he does not take the course of demanding the legislation be reviewed within 72 hours, in other words, if the FDA keeps putting him off until January, the legislative session will end.
Yes.
And it'll all be over, because whether he's reelected or not, when the legislative session ends, then you have to start the process completely over from scratch.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Once this 30-day window is up on this one, he has to file that formal legislative requisition.
Yeah.
In order to make a move, right?
Yes.
And I think on the route he's been going, he probably will. He's got enough people backing him behind it. And for those of you who have not, get in contact with him. Shoot him an email. You don't have to be from the state of Wisconsin to get in contact with him.
Right, exactly.
I was going to say that encourage him. Find out where his page is, and wherever you are in the country, send him a message. Tell him that that you would like him to go for it.
Shit, you don't even have to be from the country. If you're from outside the country and you want to say, hey, keep it up, by all means.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter where you're from. It affects everybody. It's not just what's going to happen in the States or New Zealand or Australia.
We're a global community, and this situation requires global attention, no matter where. You know, it's like the situation in Australia, and that's where I'm running a series here, starting with Paul on tomorrow's, and I've been in touch with Sam Bogan, and he's gonna sit in with me, and we're just gonna try as best we can to bring forth and bring into light the situations down in that part of the world as well. So we do have our issues in our own backyards. We've got our issues in our own countries, but we are a global community. We're a global family, and we need to stand as a global family in order to let our voices be heard no matter where we are. So you're absolutely right, TJ. That's a very valid point.
It falls under that same idea of nobody's worried about one bee. But if you get a whole damn hive after you, they're going to worry. They're going to run.
Absolutely. That's a very good analogy.
You got to work as a hive. The working as a single bee ain't going to do the trick.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's a perfect point to time to interject and tell you guys how New Zealand will be affected by what's going on in the States. Just to remind everybody that as it stands right now in our law, it is completely legal for us to import our own liquid nicotine at a 3-month supply for personal use, but it is illegal for us to purchase it on the retail market.
Right.
It's illegal for me to even hand a bottle of e-juice with nicotine in it to a friend to just go, here, try this, what do you think? Currently, and I hate using this particular sentence, but currently they don't enforce it, and that's giving them a bit of ammo in the fact that we talk about it like that, but that's valid how it stands. And what's going on in America with the FDA and, well, all of you guys overseas affects our ability to be able to import nicotine in the long run. And we're trying to get our law changed here so that we can purchase it on the retail market. However, depending on what goes down on the bigger demographic of our global vape community, as to whether or not that is even a viable long-term solution for us to be able to even import nicotine, whether it be retail or retail. So we do all need to work together. We have to keep bridging this gap between all of our countries, and it is a global advocacy fight, no matter where we are.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's once is not enough. It's something that we got to do on a constant, regular basis. In order for this to work, that's what has to be done, unfortunately.
I'm getting messages daily at the moment of people still struggling. I've tried bottom of the line e-cigs, e-pens, e-vods, all the beginner kit type things, and it's just not viable for people to get fully into vaping when they see it as a way they could stop smoking, but DIY and importation scares them as it stands within our law right now. And then there's the whole fear of what's going on across the world as to whether or not vaping is even a viable avenue of cessation or NTR, whichever way you want to look at it, because of what's going on globally as to whether or not it's even going to be available in the next few months, a year's time, because of the fight that we are all fighting. It affects all of our community, whether we're existingly vaping or whether or not you're trying to convert your friend's family, mother, sister, brother. It affects everybody's health in the long term.
That's actually a really valid point there. And actually, when I was listening to the Heavy Show prior to this starting, somebody did make a really valid point. Somebody who wants to switch over and go, oh, well, I need to start advocating right away because they might take it away. That's a hard ball to push.
Mm.
I mean, if you were to tell me that I'm going to come in and in order for me to start vaping, I need to A, find the right stuff, and then B, I need to immediately start advocating for myself and make sure the people around me are. That's a hard pill to swallow for some people, especially when you're already hooked on the cigarettes.
You know, it's a hard truth to swallow in the sense that when you really stop and think about what is taking place all over the world, we honestly don't have anybody to blame but ourselves, in the sense that, you know, you go look through history, and government has made some decisions and people have stood up and said, absolutely not, we're not accepting that, and we're not standing united. And it's not that there's a lot of people doing a lot of good, and they're advocating, and there's a great number. The interest definitely came together in the last several months with the deeming regulations dropping. However, where we dropped the ball, and this is what I have come to the conclusion of, that we've dropped the ball 2 years ago when everybody realized that these deeming regulations were going to be coming, and same within Europe and everywhere else. It would have been our job at that point in time to not educate only on the benefits, but educate people what was to come, and that this is a beneficial thing, but it can be taken away. This is what we need to do. This needs to start 2 years ago or more, in order to build up the unity, in order to stand as one and just wag our finger back at the government and say, absolutely not, we're not accepting this. You know what I'm saying? It's something to, it's basically where the fault lies. I mean, we can sit and blame who we want right now. We can blame the FDA, we can blame Big Pharma, we can blame Big Tobacco, but it realistically falls on us because we weren't educating 2 years or longer ago on what was to come.
Actually, I disagree with you a little bit there. 2 years ago, we did submit, we submitted good ideas to the FDA regarding reasonable restrictions and regulations. The FDA chose to ignore everything that we put forward. So I don't think that it's solely our fault. I think that we were involved 2 years ago more than a lot of people actually understand.
But what I'm trying to get at, though, is because of the growth of the community over the last 2 years, even the newer vapors coming in, what did they know about the FDA regulations and what was to come? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, we sat back until they were dropped, and then we're doing something. Something should have been done as we went along, okay? FDA rejected the original proposition, so then it should have been the growth in numbers and more strength in numbers would have been a louder voice, is what I'm trying to get at.
The only thing I could say to that, though, Permit, is that at some point the regs were going to be dropped, right? And until they actually dropped them, we had no idea how bad or how good the regs were going to be. So
we had a pretty good indication.
The regs were dropped on May 5th of this year, and I believe that they were a little bit shocking in the breadth and scope that the FDA took on the thing. I mean, we had some idea what we were fighting for, but until they actually put their plan into action on paper, there wasn't a whole lot we could do other than make recommendations to the FDA. So really our fight couldn't even commence until May 5th of this year when we got the regulations in our hands.
Right.
And the unfortunate part is that there's only 90 days between that time and the early implementation of these regulations, right? It's not enough time to really hammer it out, and I well believe that they know that. I still think that the FDA had this planned out. They've been planning this for 4 years probably, and that they have a good idea of what they want to do, how they're going to do it, and we're playing catch up at this point.
That sounds exactly right. That's just like any sort of behind closed doors government business that goes on. When they want something taken over, they're going to do it with an iron fist. They're not going to come in and be all nice about it and say, okay, well, we're going to slowly start to do this. They're just going to come with the hammer down. especially when they're afraid of a business that's booming as much as this and taking away those revenue tax dollars for quite a few states.
Yeah.
Right. And until these deals were submitted in writing, it was all conjecture and hyperbole. Until they presented their deeming regulations to us, that we really couldn't organize or do anything to thwart it ahead of time because, quite frankly, we didn't know the breadth and scope of what their regs were going to entail. I mean, we had some idea, we had some fears, but until they file their paperwork, that's when you have to go to work. And I would like to remind people that, this date of August 8th is not, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Basically, there's not even a hole in the boat yet, and the boat is not sinking yet, but the iceberg is there, obviously, and now is the time where you can't just throw your hands up and be a victim. Now's when our fight really starts.
Well said, man.
Well put. Very well put. That's exactly right. If we don't want to end up like the Titanic, we need to act now as a whole, not as a single individual, and not on 40 different fronts. We need to be fighting the same front.
Absolutely. And going back to what I said, I mean, what it is, and it is what it is. So the time is now to work on things. I mean, what happened in the past we can't change, so the time is now, and it's never too late. You just can never sit back and just wait for it to happen or to let it happen. You just can't. And like I said, once is not enough. If you sent out emails, well, send another one. And Giz has mentioned it several times. Do analog letters. Send analog letters. They're more effective than emails. Emails can just get shoved in a filtered box and never looked at, whereas they've got to open up paper letters. And if you're that passionate about what it is that you're doing, and you know that it's going to benefit others around you that you love and you care about, then what's an extra hour out of your day to sit down and write some letters?
The other thing is I've talked to I've personally spoken with my representatives, and I can tell you for a fact that they don't normally get 100 emails about any given piece of legislation that they're working on. So even if they get 100 emails or they get 100 letters, it's effective, because it's like, on any given day they don't get 100 emails. People are busy. People don't take time to contact them as often as you would think that they do. And if they get 1,000 or 2,000 responses or inquiries, submissions, basically they're going, what the hell is going on? Because it's shocking to them when they get that kind of response on any piece of legislation.
Right. Very good point.
Yeah. Most people will sit back and let stuff happen, and that's not what we can do. It won't work out in our favor.
So get off your butts and advocate.
That's right, guys.
Big word.
Wow. Wrong hole.
Dry hit?
No, just wrong hole.
I had to rein in. That's what she said. I had to rein it in.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew you were thinking it.
That was excellent. I appreciate everyone's input there. That was excellent. I want to keep that up every show there, even if it's only for 20, 30 minutes, whatever the case may be. It needs to be on the show, so that way people have that opportunity, especially if they're not watching live, they come back, watch the replay, whatever. It definitely needs to be talked about.
The message keeps getting out, and kudos to you for having the heart to include that portion in your show. It's important, and you realize the importance, and it's good for you for taking the time to do that. A lot of people are getting tired of the advocacy, and I can understand, but at the same time, we're fighting for our lives, you know.
Most definitely, and we have to keep doing so, or otherwise we're going to be up a shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah.
We're not fighting for our lives because we're already vapors.
True.
We can make mods out of copper tubing, and we can buy wire from fishing stores to make stainless steel leaders, and we can buy cotton down at the Piggly Wiggly, but the lives that we're fighting for are the lives of smokers, and everybody needs to remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's incredibly valuable information right there. That's a reminder that we all need sometimes.
Fight for the billion lives that are still smoking.
That's right.
Those are the ones we should be worried about. The ones who have that opportunity that may never come if we don't continue to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every single day at any given time, even if it's 5 minutes out of every single day, if every person did that, it'd be a pretty valuable asset. I mean, whether you buy a bottle of Addie's yogurt or banana bondage, or you write an email, or you send a letter, or you buy a t-shirt from Vaping Swag and support the cause you're advocating, because realistically, and another hard truth to swallow, if you're not advocating and you're sitting back doing nothing, you unfortunately are part of the problem.
Or if maybe you have more money than time. If you're that kind of person, then donate. Donate to these lawsuits. Donate to Not Blowing Smoke. Who is I like Not Blowing Smoke because they are the education branch, and that's what I've always said is the most important, number one thing that we need to do is educate people. And we need to educate non-smokers, and we need to educate smokers. And, educating non-smokers is an uphill battle because they don't really care. But
exactly.
They need to be educated.
Yeah,
I think I'm done ranting.
Good for you, Jake.
I'm going to jump in here real quick. Everybody take it easy. Fresh has to roll. I got a phone call I have to make. Everybody educate, advocate, and fight for your right to vape, fight for the right to vape of the people behind you. Those are the people we really got to worry about. Check out Addie's Yoga over on Advocacy Eliquid. Get yourself a sweet Vaping Swag t-shirt. Later, everybody.
Have a great night, Fresh. Thanks, brother. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
See you Friday.
And actually, that's probably about the right time, to be honest, to start winding this down here. I do have a new earlier shift at work, so I do want to wind this down here. This is actually a little later than I was planning on running, but that's all right. Totally worth it. The advocacy talk there was amazing. I love that. Thank you very much. And permanent special thanks for you to coming on. I appreciate it a ton.
No thanks needed, man. I apologize for leaving it this long, just the way that life works sometimes, but I was so glad to have the opportunity and make sure I was clear Wednesday night to join you. I promised you I would, and I'm glad I came. You guys are just phenomenal. You're a phenomenal guy, TJ. I really, like I said a million times, I've enjoyed my time following you and your journey, and sitting down with you and hearing your story was phenomenal. And also, do check out my YouTube channel tomorrow or SoundCloud. You can find me on SoundCloud. I think TJ's got the links. And check out the podcast tomorrow because it is a pretty decent one. It's got Paul from Australia. We're talking the situation down there. And then my vaping story is Fresh's, and he's got an amazing story if you haven't heard it. He's an amazing, amazing guy. And it was an honor and a pleasure to sit in with him. And look forward to many more stories down the road, but thanks very much for having me, and thanks to everybody in chat. It's been a blast tonight, and I look forward to another one with you, TJ, for sure.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure having you on. I had a blast sitting down with you when we got that chance to sit there. That didn't even feel like the hour and a half or 2 hours we were there.
It went by fast, but it was a good time, man.
That it was. Most definitely. Like he said, I do have the links down in the description below, so make sure you go check out his YouTube channel, and also he is on SoundCloud for that podcast as well. So you guys get down there, check him out. Make sure you're subscribed over there. Good stuff coming out of Permit's channel there.
And thanks very much for the support you've been giving me since we dropped that first one there, buddy. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, most definitely. And there's something I strongly agree with and believe in. I'm gonna push it all the way to the.
I can't thank you enough. It's been awesome so far.
And now for special guests who decided they weren't going to show up and then did show up, Mox, anything you'd like to say to everybody?
What would I like to say? Yeah, keep fighting, writing all those letters, everything that everyone has already said. It is, albeit that we're probably sitting pretty per se across the world, we are still fighting just as hard as you guys are, because what's going on over there affects us and every other country as well. Subscribe to the Own Kiwis. Go and hit that like button on Facebook, and follow me and Megan's show. I'm looking at changing the day and time that we're on, actually, so that I can try and reach a wider audience across the globe. And yeah, I've been loitering around quite a few of you guys' channels now, and I hope to keep popping up, because my biggest goal, as well as supporting all you guys overseas, is making people realize this is a global fight and bridging that gap between my country and the rest of the world. And I will keep supporting all you guys as well and what you guys are up to everywhere. And the love that you guys give me, I thank you very much for that. And thank you for having me, TJ, every damn time, my friend. Big love to you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I appreciate it. Always a good time. Always have some excellent information from us, especially what's going on in your neck of the woods there. And to know that we are bridging that gap between our countries and the rest of the world is even better, especially when we can do it as a group to show that it is a worldwide fight, not just to one single country or state or province or wherever you're at. In this case, next person I'd like to give a big shout out to, for especially my new lowest third here, Leafa Vapes over here. Leafa, what would you like to say to everybody?
Hey, I just wanted to thank you first, TJ, for allowing me to come on the show again tonight. It's always a pleasure. Want a big shout out to Don at AdoreEliquid.com. Go out and get some Addie's yogurt concentrate. Excellent way to do some mixing. And as you can tell by my Easy Dripper bottle, that's how much it gets used. The label's wearing off. Make that up by the double batches, and it's one of my all-day vapes. So if I like it, you're going to like it too. So get over there. 100% of the profits going to Not Blowing Smoke. When you order that, you can use any of the coupon codes you know. For this show, I'll just throw out Fresh03 as a coupon code. Check out my channel if you want. Give me a thumbs up on anything you like. Shoot me questions. Subscribe if you like it. I buy all my stuff. Give away the extra that I have on a couple of videos. But come take a gander. And once again, pimp out Permit on his SoundCloud. It's awesome, man.
Thanks, sir. It's always a pleasure to have you. You don't have to thank me anymore. You're already a permanent fixture here. I mean, as long as you show up. I mean, those days when you're deathly ill, you should still try to crawl out of bed. You know, I'm not going to hold you to that. And another one of my favorite panel members, always great with the advocacy talk here, Gizzard Stew. The floor is yours, sir.
I just have a couple things to pimp. Of course, Hazy Custard. You know where to get it. Go get it. Sean Carlo, Ohmageddon Eliquids, get some Skull. And one extra. Royal. Damn good custard from across the pond. And I have 2 words for you. Advocate and educate. That's it.
You should have just left it at advocate and educate. That's it. Wasn't necessary. That was excellent. Yes, there are a couple things I do want to pimp myself because we didn't get to talk a lot about them, and I'm going to go over them again, even though some people already mentioned them. If you have not, get yourself over to Adore Liquid. Got a little bit left of this cinnamon apple roll, not much. So I got about maybe 1 chance to drip on that. Some excellent stuff, but most definitely get your hands on that Addie's yogurt concentrate. If you don't mix yet, that's a good way to start. Also get some of that banana bondage. Both of those proceeds are going to Not Blowing Smoke for advocacy there. So make sure you're advocating. And that's a tasty way to advocate. As well as a special thanks out tonight to Giancarlo from Ohmageddon Eliquids. That's the name of the show this evening, the PR party. That Phantom Ravioli. You haven't gotten any? Go get yourself some. Nothing like pizza in a bottle. The man makes some phenomenal e-liquids. Not to mention, you get a pretty wicked cool fucking bottle to have it in. I don't see too many bottles like that you're buying your e-liquid in. Most definitely get out there and check him out. His link's down in the description as well as Adore's. So, you guys get over their site, buy the hell out of them. It's well worth every stinking penny you're going to spend on it. Also, go check out Vaping Swag. Get an I Vape, I Vote t-shirt. Those proceeds are also going to advocacy. Do sell wire there and a bunch of other shirts as well. If you have not, get over to my Vaporium, sign yourself up, become a member. I don't get on there as much as I would like to. However, it is a wonderful community over there. Everybody's been helpful anytime I've needed anything or had a question. So, great place to meet new people that have to do with advocacy, and everybody who's over there, they have some sort of hand in advocacy, especially when you're looking at guys like Mike Vapes and Heavy Metal Vapors and all of them. They're all doing phenomenal stuff over there, so make sure you check it out. Special thanks out here as well to Permit, not just for showing up, but also for putting out one hell of an amazing podcast. His link's down in the description to his YouTube channel as well as the Soundcloud. Go check him out. As for myself, it's no longer TJ, so if anybody needs to know, it is now youtube.com/golftvapes, if you can't tell by the lower third that was created by Leafa here today. So another shout out to Leafa there for creating that. That's a pretty wicked cool lower third there. I dig it. In this case, I think that's about everything, other than make sure you're following Not Blowing Smoke, and also check out SA. Follow what they're asking you to do. Follow those call to actions. Get in touch with your congressman. Let them know where you stand on the issues. If they're not doing what you want to, let them know that you vape, you vote, and you will vote for somebody who will do what needs to be done in order to save our vaping and those who are coming after us. So, on that note, I do want to thank everybody who's came out. I know I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the comments today, so I do apologize for that. My apologies. Next week, as usual, I'm going to be back to trying to pull somebody out of the crowd here. Also, on a side note, there is also going to be a special announcement from a panel member here next week. So everybody tune in, check it out. It's going to be well worth your time. On that note, Giz, would you like to take us out?
Why, sure. Remember, people, be good to each other and get off your butts and vape.
Bye.